I've been posting pictures of my makeup on Instagram recently, so I decided to do a tutorial of how I do my makeup. And, alright. I always do my eyes first because I have a really bad problem where I tend to get eyeshadow all over my face. And if I do my foundation first, then I have eyeshadow on the foundation, I have to fix that, and it becomes a whole thing. So I'm going to start with my eyes. I've been using this thing right here, which you can see is a NYX cosmetic product. It's a gel liner. I've got this little tiny brush. I got the brush at Dollar Tree. Gel liner was maybe $14, and it's one of the more expensive things I'm going to be using because it's really cheap makeup. Luckily my skin doesn't care. Anyways, tiny brush, a little gel on it, and I'm going to line my eyes. I'm going to do a little cat eye. I'm going to lean forward into the mirror to do this though. Alright, as you can see I did a little cat eye there, and I just sort of did the brush across and then did a little bit right there. After I've got the cat eye on, I'm going to take a little bit of black eyeshadow, which did not want to open just there, and go over it just a little, keep it from smudging as much. Alright, and then on the first eye. Now I'm going to do my second eye, and you want to get it as even as possible, obviously. And alright, and you see I got some on my face, which is why I'm doing this first. And go back with the black shadow. Alright, now as you can see they're not quite even, but they're pretty close. I'm going to make them up a little more. And I'm going to take a little bit of cold cream to clean up where I made smudges on my face. So I've got this cold cream, which I use a lot. I use it to take off my eyeshadow, and I use it for fixing things, like when I get eyeshadow or whatever on my face, and to use it to clean up a little bit. Now, this isn't perfect looking, but it is going to get a little better once the eyeshadow is on. I'm still working on getting good at doing this. It is definitely a matter of practice. Alright, now you can see a little more even, and it is time to put the primer on my eyelids. You can buy eyeshadow primer on the internet or in makeup shops, and it's pricey. I am cheap, so I'm using what is like a liquid concealer, and I put a little of it right there, and just with my finger I smooth it into place. Oh, and I got some of it on the liner. That's okay though. Ideally you don't want to get it on your liner because you don't want to cover it, but it's not the end of the world. Alright, and you can see that gave my eyelid a little more smoothness, and it'll make the eyeshadow stick to it a little better. Ta-da! Alright, now that I've got my eyes primed, it's time to put some eyeshadow on. And I'm using this LA Colors eyeshadow. I got it at Dollar Tree. I'm going to be using that and this little angled brush, which I've had long enough that I'm not sure where it came from. Alright, I'm going to take, see this palette? It's got damage to it, but I'm going to take this blue right here, and I'm going to do a little bit of it at the bottom of my lid. Right. And see, the imperfect liner doesn't matter as much once you start to do this. Alright, so I've got some blue going on here. And I'm doing really big eyes, drag queen-esque eyes, because that's what I like to do. I've got this green. I'm going to do it just halfway across my lid right here. You can see yeah, you see that? It's just going halfway across. And you know, you want to get it as even from side to side as possible, but it's never going to be perfect, and people aren't going to be getting super close to your face like this is and inspecting it, so you should be good. For this other palette, there's a bunch of bright colors on it. I really love LA Colors. I get it at Dollar Tree, and it has really bright color palettes. Alright, now you want to fill in, and then sort of all the way over to your cat eye. I like to kind of blend it in. And here, you're doing the same thing. All the way over to your cat eye, and you're going to blend it in. Okay. Now, this isn't quite finished. What we're going to do is we're going to take a gold glitter, and we're going to really, the whole thing's going to get real shimmery, and real bright. And it's going to really pull everything together and kind of smooth everything out. This gold glitter is from Dollar Tree as well. It's also LA Colors. And this is actually the only place I've ever found this glitter is Dollar Tree, and I really love it. It's a really loose, shimmery powder. It comes in this little thing like this, and I tend to take out the tiny brush that comes with it and pat it into the lid. So you got a bunch in the lid. Like a whole bunch in the lid right there. Oh, okay. And then you get it. Load a bunch of it onto this brush. I mean a bunch, like you want a ton of glitter on there, because you're going to take and you're going to run it across your eye. And don't worry, we're going to clean up all this stuff that's getting on your face afterwards, because that's why we're doing the foundation last, so that we can get all this off of your face after you're done doing this. And this is going to really, and then, alright, so you got powder everywhere doing that. Shimmer powder all over the place. That's okay. That's what cotton balls and cold cream are for. It's going to take the shimmer powder right off your face. Before we get any further, I'm going to make my eyebrows stand out a little more. My eyebrows are really light because I'm very pale. And I've got this also LA Colors palette right here. I'm going to take a little of this light brown right here, and I'm going to draw in a little bit of color to my eyebrows. I mean, just a little bit, not a ton, just a little bit to really bring my eyebrows together. And this is an important step if you have little tiny light eyebrows like mine, because you want to have eyebrows. You don't want your eyebrows to just disappear, and if you're wearing really bold eye makeup and you have almost no eyebrows like me, they tend to just disappear out of existence. Alright, cleanup time. Alright, need a cotton ball, not a but a ball. You can get a little bit of stuff on it, and you can cold cream all this part of your face, because you want all this off before you do the foundation. And cotton balled it, and then you take a rag, washcloth, whatever, and really wipe all that off. You want to get as much of this off as you can. The foundation will cover some of it if you don't get it all, but you want it to look like you just did your eyes, and not that you got gold glitter everywhere. Alright, alright, now you got your eyes done, except for one thing. I'm going to put on lashes. Now, eyelashes was really challenging for me to learn to wear them because I'm not very coordinated. I don't have a very steady hand, so learning to put them on was really hard. But once you start wearing them, you don't like your makeup as much without them, because they are very, very neat and handy. First off, you're going to take the lashes, these lashes right here, and you take your glue, and you need to apply just a thin, thin layer of glue. To the band of the lash. And see, tiny bit of glue. Probably actually have a little more glue than I need there. Sometimes it comes out faster than you want it to. And you need to wait a little bit of time. Maybe blow on it a little, because the glue needs to be tacky, not completely wet when it goes onto your eye. If it's completely wet, it'll move around too much. And then you just kind of have to... Well, it's sticking to my finger. See, this is why lashes are really hard to learn. Alright, there. And then I like to take, if I can find it, I like to take the back end of this tweezers and use it to kind of poke my eyelashes into place. And don't worry about all that white glue, it is clear. I had to lean over to the mirror there because I didn't have enough control. Alright, so as you can see, I get a little glue on my eyelids. It happens from time to time, but I got my lashes on this eye, and you see the dramatic difference it makes. Like, my eyes look way bigger on this side just from that little bit of eyelashes. I'm going to go ahead and put glue on my other lash while this one starts to dry in place. And if you get glue on your lids, sometimes they can get kind of stuck when you open them, and they don't want to close back all the way. You can take the tweezers and pull the glue off when that happens. You have to have tweezers for this because you need them for taking glue off the lashes after you wear them. When you peel your lashes off, you can pull the glue off with some tweezers and you can reuse the lashes. And you're going to want to do that because lashes cost $5 a pair, and I'm not going to wear something that costs $5 a pair once. I'm just not going to do it. Alright, so I've got this second set of lashes, got some glue on them. I think I did a little better job this time. The glue's not as clumpy. Hopefully they'll go on better. A lot of times I've had to do them 3 or 4 times to get them on. I'm getting better at it, but it's still, you know, it's not the easiest thing in the world, and I am not real good at it yet, and so doing it this way without a traditional mirror is even more challenging. Alright, I'm gonna lean over into the mirror and see if I can fix the situation I've got going on. Alright.
Alright, so the lashes on both eyes now. Trying to even them out a little bit. This eye is not quite sitting up as far as the other ones. I'm trying to like even the lash a little. Well, I did some damage to my eyeshadow there. I need a little bit of a repair. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna fix that with a little bit of the green and blue rather. Alright, I got me some lashes on now, and there. Ooh, next step. Alright, next I'm gonna put on concealer. And I just put this on like my under eye region and a little bit down my nose. And I have kind of dark under eyes, so the concealer helps a little with that. It's the same concealer I use to prime my eyeshadow. It's an NYC color, I think. Yeah, it is. It's an NYC, which is a drugstore brand. It's really cheap. Alright, now it's time to do my foundation. I use NYC Ivory. I have really light skin, so I tend to basically use makeup that says Ivory on it for everything, because I have skin the color of a porcelain doll, evidently. I'm putting on, use this Q-tip to put foundation on my face, and I smear it on with my hands. Don't use a brush or anything for this. And it's a cheap foundation. It's not got a ton of coverage. That's okay. I have decent skin, so I can get away with that. You can use whatever foundation you want for this, because it's not really going to affect the next step, the contouring. So if you want to use a heavier foundation, you can. You're going to get the same process. I've done it with almost no foundation in it as well, and I've done it with thicker coats. Make sure you don't get any foundation onto your already done eyes. Alright, so now that you've got the foundation spread all over your face, it's time to start doing powder. First, put on plain powder. I'm using Airspun loose face powder in the lightest shade they had at the store, which I think is called Naturally Neutral. It's supposedly kind of a translucent powder. I don't like that it has a scent, but it's really the only loose powder I can find cheaply, so I'm dealing with the scent as much as I can. But I would prefer a powder that doesn't have a scent, and I feel like this didn't always. I feel like I used to be able to buy Airspun powder that wasn't scented, but I may be deluding myself. Alright, so you got a little layer of powder on your face. Now it is time to start contouring. And I've managed to get all my other makeup on top of my contouring palette, but alright, now I've got it. Here's my contouring palette. Oh, you see it's giant contouring palette. I bought this off Amazon for $13, which is a great deal in my mind. And I'm going to use this white to highlight because I have, like I said, really light skin. You might want to highlight with something a little more peachy if you're darker skinned than me. But when you're pale as I am, you want to highlight in white. First thing I highlight is underneath my eyes and down the side of my nose. And see, this is even a little less white than I could use if I really wanted to get bright. Like there's some brighter whites out there, but unfortunately most of them are shiny and you really want matte for this. I've been using a shiny white some, but it really can be hard to de-shine your face after you do that. Right, so you see I'm doing underneath my nose, this lip area, the sides of my nose, but not on my nose itself, but like next to my nose. And underneath my eyes. And you want to get quite a bit of highlighter on your face right here, because this is really going to brighten up your eye area and really give you some brightness. Yeah, get up into this area. Alright, alright, see, and then my second area I do is down my nose, down the center of my nose. You want to really give your nose some structure this way, and then up into my forehead. And up my forehead, I want to kind of do out to the center of my eye, and kind of make almost the shape of like a clamshell right here. Alright, we're going to get around this way. And we're going to be using two different colors for contouring, but I'm doing all my highlighting white because I am pale, and nothing else will really brighten up my face besides white. Alright, you're going to highlight under your chin. And see, this is going right here. You kind of come to a point with this. Not like a big point, but like you want it to, and then you want to go up at the sides here. And I'm not putting as thick of a coat right here, but I'm definitely got like a chin strap thing going on there. Alright, next I'm going to be using a medium color right here, this one, to do a little bit of contouring right here. And you want to kind of go around this area. Like I said, this is a medium color for me. It'd be a light color on a lot of other people, but I'm pale enough that this is my medium. And I'm going to do a little bit of coloring up here using that as well. And, alright, next I'm going to take my dark, which is not dark on a lot of people, but it is dark on me. And I'm going to color this in. See, this is going to give myself some depth there. Sort of a line up here, and a little bit of color right there. So this is gonna add a little color right here, and this is the other place I do my dark, which is my cheek. Which this is gonna give me cheekbones. I am not a really cheekbony kind of person. Contouring with this. And then I'm going to take some of this pinkish blush color, almost a brick blush, and put a little of that in this area. And a little of that right here. And right now I look like a clown because I haven't blended any. And it is blending time, which involves a whole bunch of powder, a whole bunch of buffing with a brush, and hopefully eventually involves a perfectly contoured face. So take a bunch of powder, put it on your brush, and really start going to town blending. And I'm making tiny circles here, as you can see, I'm sure. Alright, see, I'm starting to get a little bit less clown-like. It's a gradual process. You have to really go at it. And this is going to get powder everywhere, and that's why I do the makeup on a tile surface, because I'm going to have powder all over the place to clean up. See, the blending is taking place, making progress. It's hard to talk while I'm blending my contouring out because I'm concentrating here. I'm about to have to look at this in a full-size mirror because I can't really see as well this way. I just almost cut myself with my nail because I was holding my brush like all up like this, but I get better control that way. I've seen people blend with like a sponge and stuff. I'm doing this with this powder brush. That's what I've got. Let's see. Right now I'm leaning into the mirror because I want to get really close to it to finish my blending. And when I'm starting to finish, I do kind of this thing where I move the brush along. Alright. I've got myself blended now. You can see got some pink on my cheeks, a little bit of cheekbone going on right here, and I've got this structure that I built up here to make my forehead a little elongated, make my face longer. The final thing to bring the look together for me is obviously going to be lipstick. I'm going to take this dark red lipstick, kind of a very red thing going on, and I'll put it on a really defined lip. And want to have quite a bit of lip going on here, and I'm about to take this tiny brush I have and use it to put a little bit of goldish colored lip accents. I've got this kind of neutral gold lipstick I use to accent the center of my lip. This gold is going to really give a little brightness to the center part of my lip, and hopefully it should make my lips look a little bigger than they are. Alright, it's my makeup tutorial. It's pretty basic. I use mostly dollar store makeup, with the exception of the NYX eyeliner. There's really no dollar store gel liner, but basically everything else I used was pretty cheap. My brushes are not cheap. Good brushes matter, as does brush cleaner. You really have to clean your makeup brushes. I got this at Sally's to clean them. Anyways, makeup tutorial. Bye.